Before I start reviewing of a new film by Alice Raquera, I want to say thank you for watching my last video on Perfect Days, and I also want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope everybody enjoys this new review for La Chimera. Enjoy. So we have this movie La Chimera, which is starring Josh O'Connor as he plays a hobo type Indiana Jones archaeologist who travels back to Italy to see his family while also discovering the secrets of Italy through the eyes of tunnels and other archaeological items. And throughout this whole movie, you basically see Josh O'Connor act like a hobo through the entire runtime. In the beginning, he's on a train with a bunch of people, and a lot of them are just like chilling out, doing their own thing. And he gets into a scuffle with a like a sock seller, I should say, someone who sells socks for a living. And it's a whole thing where the guy is just like berating him about like, oh, your feet smell really bad, like you can't like get any girls and shit like that. And then like from the jump, Josh O'Connor's character Arthur just beats the shit out of him, and that just like pretty much sets the tone of Arthur and his whole personal journey as a hobo archaeologist. And jumping from there, he meets his family. All of them are Italian, and they all have really crazy personalities, but they all have like their own talents with them themselves. It's basically like the first half of this movie is basically kind of like a mixture of Fellini and then just also a little bit of like Chaplin with just like the comedic timing and just like a lot of like the movements a lot of people go through in the environments. And then on top of that, it's just more about like the archaeology and the idea of just people stealing items from graves and curses and like a lot of, I should say, Italian aesthetics, mostly 70s Italian aesthetics because it's set in the 70s. But yeah, like this movie to me it's very witty and like flimsy and kind of like fun throughout the whole thing. It has like a very like whimsical type of like tone throughout the whole movie. Alice Worcester, I can't pronounce her name right. That's her like style of filmmaking. Her last film, Happy as Lazaro, was kind of like that, but it was also like really depressing. In some scenes where you follow like Lazaro and like his whole journey as like a kid who has all this like darkness inside of him. And that's basically the same with Arthur, played by Josh O'Connor. His character, like from the jump, you kind of like get to tell him to see if he's kind of like not entirely like a bad guy, but he kind of is a bad guy in terms of him having like this gift of finding personal items and lost and found items, but also grave digging and graving ancestral items, which can be kind of shocking for a lot of people who have like these personal items given to like their family members and then somebody else just like takes it like for no reason. Like it has that like theme in play. And then also just in general, the whole idea of like the corporatization of grave digging and just taking like items from ancestral grounds and then selling it to like museums. It has all that. And then just in general, the whole movie is just very in tune with like Italian life. And I just love that. Like I love like little like slice of life movies where you just follow a bunch of like these crazy people in a condensed zone, which is just like a rural area of Italy, and they're just going through life. And that's why I like this movie a lot. And also why I think Josh O'Connor is just fantastic in this role. He doesn't really have a complete backstory. You just kind of tell what he's going through with like his eyes and his body expressions throughout the whole movie. And he has a very like unique expressionist type of like feeling when he walks and like moves around and like interacts with like people in the town. And you can kind of say the same thing with like just like the other supporting cast, which I don't have like their names with me right now. But yeah, like this whole movie is just really interesting, and I think it's one of the better like international features that I've seen this year. If when it does come out, I think it comes out next year in the States. I was able enough to see this at the film festival, but when it does come out, I highly recommend it. I gave it a 4.5 on Letterboxd, but I'm happy to rewatch it again because it's really fantastic. Yeah, definitely check this out.